In this video, we will talk about the future, because in crypto you can only make money when you are planning several steps ahead. The current correction will be stopping sooner or later, and we will be seeing our surge up of the market. And I think that we will be surging up quite soon. Just too many bullish events in the pipeline. Let's talk about altcoins. I will tell you about 11 altcoins that were either showing great strength in recent moves when Bitcoin was going sideways or correcting, or the altcoins that are consolidating for quite some time already that should be doing something very, very soon. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and let's actually start. Bitcoin is still trading in these levels, 62k and 73k. We all are just waiting for the final move, whether it's going to be up or down. But in general, sideways action for any asset is very, very bullish, because sideways action just means that weak hands are selling the assets at this stage, and hands and stronger hands who would be planning to hold longer term are buying the asset up, because they do plan to hold it moving forward. The first token I wanted to talk about is AVAX. We do see some larger accounts talk about AVAX, Alex Becker and some influencers that essentially mention this token as well. And AVAX seems to be on the avant-garde of gaming of this cycle. It's also still something very, very alive. It was showing numbers recently, because you have to focus on the tokens that had the wave 1 already. AVAX was pumping in October, from the lows of October, from $9 back to $48. We had a recent surge up, then we had to turn around because the market is not very, very strong at this stage. But I do think we have a lot of things in the pipeline for AVAX for this year at this stage. All the partnerships, all the games, all the things that are happening. Of course, it's a larger asset and you won't be getting your 10x on AVAX. Therefore, I would just advise to either long it conservatively, because you never know what will be happening in the crypto market. And the most important thing in crypto is to not lose your money. In general, the most important thing when investing is not lose your money. That's why all of the loans that I'm doing are actually quite conservative. Great gaming narrative for this cycle. Influencers are pushing this thing as well. Chart looks very, very nice too. We have this correction. We are consolidating at this stage, quite bullish from my point of view, because in fact we are consolidating at these levels from the start of the year for 4 months already. Sooner or later we should have our move on AVAX. Next thing is SUI. Why I'm bullish on SUI at this stage? We formed an interesting cup and handle, right? And we might still be in the formation. I believe a lot of people expected us to surge up from here, but we pretty much just went on the correction. Interesting thing for SUI is that they will have large unlocks in May. And we definitely see a very, very interesting price action at this stage. And we also know that the markets are forward looking. I do think that VCs won't be dumping this token right away. I do think that there might be a larger plan at play for SUI, because they invested $400 million in SUI. They won't be able to take $400 million as profits at this stage from the unlocks that will be happening. I do believe something greater is planned for SUI, and I do believe that the time for move ecosystem will generally come as well. We also see that SUI was showing strength during the recent price action on the marketplace. Therefore, I think it should continue doing quite well as well. Next thing is Ethereum. We do have Ethereum ETF news around May of this year. A range of companies sent their ETF applications already, including BlackRock. It seems that market priced in the decline of Ethereum ETF, that the fact that it's not going to get approved. I, as usually, see opportunity in things like this happening. When the market price in the fact that the ETF won't get approved, it means that if ETF is actually going to get approved, we will just see crazy move. Ethereum is the large asset with the large market cap. You would also be not getting your 10x on this asset. Therefore, you can either long Ethereum or buy some better plays around Ethereum. Pepe, Memecoin, Bobo, Memecoin, some other meme coins as well. or some Ethereum layer 2s, or some dexes like Uniswap, for example, some better plays around Ethereum that will probably provide you with a larger upside in the first place. One of them is Arbitrum. Arbitrum is a layer 2 on Ethereum. I was actually calling to long Arbitrum at $2 right here. Unfortunately, we went down. I get one of my loans liquidated. Into others, I just added margin and I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting at this stage. I'm bullish on Arbitrum long term. I think it will be doing very, very well. We pretty much just need for Ethereum to pick up. TVL is still largest on the Arbitrum. A bunch of developments are happening there. Layer 3 solutions are also happening on Arbitrum at this stage and nowhere else. And a lot of OGs in this space around layer 2s, layer 1s, layer 3s, they are bullish on Arbitrum. I do think that this token will be doing very, very well long term. I will be just waiting with my loans, waiting with my positions for my thesis to play out, because I think that the mind share around the Ethereum ETF approval or decline should be there, should be on the market. Next thing is Dogecoin. We do have interesting things happening for Dogecoin in April. In general, April is a very, very great month for Dogecoin as well. And Dogecoin kind of shows us the market for the meme coins as well, the things that might be happening for meme coins. I would say that this chart is quite bullish. We do have higher highs, higher lows, and the uptrend is definitely looking up as well for Dogecoin. And pretty much just checking out the chart of the Dogecoin, you might actually project the movement of the market up. We will see what will be happening. In general, historically, Dogecoin performing very, very well in April. And if you want to have some better plays, because 10x on Dogecoin may be closer to the absolute peak, absolute mania of this cycle, but it's still very, very hard. $250 billion market cap for Dogecoin, right? Closer to the peak mania. But still, meme coins are usually doing quite well along with the Dogecoin if Dogecoin is moving. And we have Pepe here on the page, shared by David Goldstein. So I'm sure that Pepe will be doing quite well with Dogecoin surging up as well. One of the interesting things is TCOIN, and it seems like TCOIN does not care about the market at all. We definitely see the uptrend with higher highs and higher lows, and it's very, very bullish, the fact that TCOIN is actually surging up when the whole market is correcting. They are the product that I would say is actually the closest to market adoption at this stage, because no one has 900 million users at this stage, 1 billion active users, and at the same time, a lot of crypto native people, they do like Telegram a lot. I would say some of them, they often use Telegram mostly in comparison to even Discord. They also recently introduced a model for revenue sharing with the creators of the channel on Telegram. And this revenue sharing is actually working through payments through TCOIN, which is very, very bullish for the adoption of the ecosystem in the first place. Market cap, unfortunately, is 18 billion already at this stage, because a lot of people, they do understand the potential of this thing. I would say the options that you might have is to long TCOIN, maybe after correction at this stage, or to buy into a meme coin on TON, which is called REDO, Resistance Dog. I actually hold this meme coin myself, and I do believe it will be doing very, very well quite soon, because of the fact we will have a NotCoin airdrop in TON ecosystem on 20th of April, so just in 15 days on the day of the halving. Therefore, we will have a lot of free money, a lot of house money that people would be willing to play with in the on-chain casino, which are meme coins. And that's why I think this meme coin might be doing very, very well. And it's also a dog that was originally drawn by the founder of Telegram. Next thing is tax. We will have our Bitcoin halving very, very soon. We will have so many Bitcoin layer 2s actually launching the mainnets on the day of Bitcoin halving, because they are in the race for total value locked. Therefore, they would be spending money on marketing. And I think that Stacks would be doing quite well, because Stacks is established on the marketplace. They had 5 years in advance in comparison to all the other projects. It also was showing relative strengths, and if we check out the pattern from February, we do also see uptrend. We see higher lows and higher highs, which is very, very bullish for the chart of this thing. Stacks works as your leverage on Bitcoin. If you believe in Bitcoin, you can just buy Stacks, and Stacks in general is the project that I'm voting for that would be one of the best, greatest altcoins, I think you would be doing easily. Like you would be easily doing 10x from these levels on stacks. And the main reason for that is because a lot of the layer 2s that are claiming to be layer 2s on Bitcoin releasing this cycle, they are actually scams in the first place. They will not be providing anything. A lot of them, they are waiting for the optimistic rollup implementation using BitVM technology. That is not done, that is not implemented, that's in the stage of the research at this stage. Stacks had a head start, therefore I think that this cycle, Stacks would actually be taking a lot of liquidity from the market, from these layer 2s into itself, and it should be doing quite well. One other thing is actually Casper. It's something that I'm actually talking about on this channel for the first time. I do like the community. I do like that this is something that was surging up actually in the bear market. From the bear market, it's one of the projects that performed very, very well through the bear market. If we would actually check out the chart, it's very, very easy to actually see the same type of pattern happen, right? So we saw it right here, and right now we are in the similar wedge that's forming that should break out somewhere. It should be breaking out either up or eventually down. I do see that there is a high chance for us to continue surging up for Casper because it's been accumulating for quite some time already. We are still waiting for the moves on this token, for the token to go up, and the community is just so great. Community is something you want to have on your tokens. It also was a fair launch. There are no VCs in this thing. I think it should be one of the great, very interesting tokens of this cycle as well. I do believe that 10x might be possible closer to the end of the cycle on this thing as well. And I would say that short term, this thing might be doing very well. Something I wanted to share is gaming. It's also a new project. I'm quite cautious about giving certain estimates on the fact that it will be surging up because of the fact that there should be a bunch of people who were able to get into a pre-sale. Therefore, they should be receiving the tokens and they should be dumping the tokens on the marketplace. And we can definitely see that because the whole market cap is 100 million at this stage and fully diluted is 1.5 billion. And we only have 6% of the tokens in the whole circulation. Despite this fact, we do only have 6% of tokens in the circulation, which makes this thing very easy to pump at this stage. And all the people who are participating in the pre-sale, closer to the unlocks of this thing, all the influencers, they would probably start to talk about this token, trying to push it up so they can dump on the followers at the larger levels. At the same time, I do like the combination of the narratives because they actually in gaming, they are great esports company with a bunch of like great esport teams, top in the niches, right? They are a deepin because they're actually around providing GPU powers and being able to share that. They have a lot of active users. They have way more active users that Render and Akash have even combined, right? And they're kind of following this AI narrative as well with this GPU power translation and things like that. So it might be pretty interesting and lucrative, and it just might look appealing for people who might be coming into crypto, making money with Nvidia. They might be investing into something like this, and the market cap is definitely not large at this stage. They're also launching their own gaming blockchain with Move language. So something like this might be moving along with Sui, along with Aptos. It's just a great combination, and I think that the fact that they actually decided to launch their own blockchain specifically for gaming is very bullish, because in the first place, assets that are performing the best in each and every cycle, they are layer 1s and Memecoins, so they would be a layer 1, right? And at the same time, they actually would be a layer 1 with focus, because you want to actually have your layer 1 focusing on something, and gaming should be this niche that should be onboarding like a bunch of people into crypto. This might be the most retail friendly narrative that would actually onboard the largest amounts of people into the niche, probably along with meme coins, right? But meme coins is more like investments, it is more like gambling, and in gaming it's more like from users' point of view, because users, they will actually come, they will actually play. So it's infrastructure play, very interesting one, with gaming, with Move language, with DPIN, with GPUs, with esports coverage and knowledge. I'm very bullish on this project for this cycle. Actually, I was not buying any tokens. I might be buying some tokens if we would essentially go lower, but I own NFTs and I should be receiving some tokens through the upcoming year as well. Nakamoto Studio, focusing on mobile gaming. I'm quite bullish on mobile gaming this cycle. I believe they are also the token of the previous cycle, which might not be that bullish. It's not like this new shiny object. At the same time, I would say they launched closer to the end of the previous cycle, right? And one of the interesting things of why I'm showing this is because I like the chart of this thing. I do think that the chart is quite bullish. We have our support levels. We might go into sideways, we might go into consolidation, we might go as low as here because we have a nice support levels. I don't think that we should be going lower than this one, and I'm quite bullish on the gaming short term. I think that we should be seeing a next leg up with gaming tokens quite soon, and the fact that they are focusing on mobile gaming, I think that next Axie Infinity of this cycle is a mobile game in the first place. It won't be something connected to PCs, to PSPs, to PlayStations, because it should be accessible. And games on computers, they are not accessible for the large amount of people. Old Android devices should be able to run your game very, very well. Fully diluted is also not that bad. At the same time, we do have 50% of the tokens in the circulation. Therefore, you might say it's actually going to be harder to push it up. Last but not least is Playable. That's something I actually was calling in 005. So this green candle is me buying because I actually have $75,000 in Playable at this stage. I had it. Right now they're probably around 40, 45, 50K, right? We see this thing surging up, but you cannot actually say that this chart is not bullish to you. It's just going up. It's just forming this giant wedge. You can see that we have a level here and levels here. So we should see very, very soon the finalization of this wedge, and I'm almost confident it should be going up just because of the fact we are actually consolidated and correcting so much time, and at the same time they have a very, very strong and interesting community. They do also have nodes, so there is definitely a lot of selling pressure for this token as well, and because of the fact that they have nodes, we can see that the fully diluted market cap is $150 million, and the tokens in the circulation at this stage are only 9% of the whole supply. So it's also quite easy to pump this thing. And they are a studio, they have several games, they have teams working, they definitely should be surging up. They're also an AVAX based game, so they're kind of like your beta play on AVAX as well. I bought into this project with size. I'm just holding. I'm quite confident that this thing should be surging up with the change of the market, but it definitely needs AVAX in the first place, and it definitely needs gaming as well. But I'm bullish on the gaming, like short term. I think in the upcoming 2 months, we finally should be seeing our gaming surge up. It should be happening. Our next leg up, the third one, and then closer to the end of this year, we should have the fifth one, right? I don't know if you don't see how bullish this chart actually is. Just so crazy. Very interesting to see what's actually going to happen. But do your own research, check out for yourself. There is definitely a selling pressure on this thing. We will have a shorter video today, but it's quite important to understand the thought process. Quite important to see why I'm talking about these things. Why I'm mentioning specifically these ecosystems and all the events that are connected that might be catalysts for these things to surge up, for these things to move up as well. Thank you very much for watching this channel. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my picks or not, and I will be seeing you tomorrow.